Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. And today in this video and the subsequent videos of this series, I'm going to teach you about Inertia.js, the version 2. Now, Inertia has been one of my favorite ways of building backend applications because it allows me to use the latest frameworks in JavaScript. For example, it allows you to use either Vue or React or Svelte, but it also takes away the pain of handling all the authentications and other mechanisms which are typically required in a single page application for a better user experience and authentication as well. I have a previous series where I have created an Inertia.js based application and you guys really liked that. So for all the subscribers, thank you for your feedback. And in this video, we are going to look at what Inertia.js V2 offers us. And for those who are not aware of Inertia.js, I would say you can start from the very beginning, follow me in this series, and you will learn Inertia.js, and I'll be using Vue.js so that the learning curve is pretty straightforward. So without wasting much time, let's get started. Alright, so now we will look at the guide on the website, the documentation itself, on how to install Inertia.js inside a plain Laravel application, install the front end, we will use Vue and see how pages are being rendered. Now, before we dive into the code itself, let's understand what are the high-level benefits of Inertia.js. Now, I told you that Inertia allows us to use a front-end framework while we can remain inside the Laravel ecosystem. There is also one more advantage, which basically is that even if you're writing most of your backend code in PHP, the application that you build will be a complete SPA kind of an application. Now, what does that really mean? Well, I'll show you. So here I have a application which I have created, which is basically for managing bookmarks of articles that I read. And this is not a Inertia based application. That's a very traditional PHP application. And if I go into the network, let's just look at the CSS JS request. Okay, so I refresh the page. You will see I have two CSS files loaded over here. Now I clear that. I go to my list and I can see those same CSS files being loaded. I'll clear it again. I go back to home page and they are loading again. Now, yes, a browser will typically, pull them from memory. So they are pretty fast, but still the requests are made. Okay, there is some kind of interaction or process that is happening, and then the browser is saying that, okay, I have these files, so maybe I don't need to download it, which is the browser behavior, but still there are things happening. Now, if I go back to my Firefox, and if we look at this particular page, which is built on Inertia.js, I'll again do an inspect element. I'll go for CSS files and I will refresh it first. No CSS files? That can't be. Let me look at the JavaScripts. Okay. Fine. I have a few JavaScripts, maybe, but still, if it was Tailwind, there should have been at least one file. I don't know why this is not showing up. But okay, you get the point, right? So we have on initial page load, we have about 4 scripts, out of which this one is coming from the application. And if I do this, okay, let's go ahead with this. Okay. So now I will clear this and can you see there was this get request where we are getting some JavaScript, JSON objects, but there is no, how do you say, CSS files being loaded again. Okay, so how is this styling happening? Or there was no JavaScript being loaded. Now, if I go to this part, you will see at first I get this document, right? But then pages are being refreshed. I'm going to this page, manual visits, redirects, everything is happening, but this is not increasing. But now I'm on the redirect page. If I refresh, you'll see I loaded the redirects. This page was loaded as the first instance, but then when I go to introduction, that doesn't result in a page refresh or a page load. So what is happening? Let me click on the routing. Now you see only a JSON object was loaded, nothing else. So this is where Inertia shines. It allows us to only load the JSON data and then render, or rather re-render the page when we are clicking from one link to other. But when we do a hard refresh, it has the ability to load the entire page rendered from the server maybe. Okay, so this is the advantage of Inertia.js, and I wanted you to understand, if you are not already familiar with Inertia.js, so that you understand the benefits of it. So a lot of explanation has been done. Now let's start installing Inertia.js. So now that we understand the concept of Inertia.js and what are the advantages, let's look at installing Inertia.js in our basic Laravel application. Okay, so to install Inertia.js inside a Laravel application, there are clear two steps that we need to take. One is to install it on the server side. This piece is responsible for intercepting the requests, then sending the response, understanding the view components, and then rendering it accordingly, and those kind of stuff. And then there is always the client side or the front end stuff. So let's go through the documentation, because it doesn't matter how much I teach you, whenever you are in the thick of development, you will find issues, you will face problems, and that's when the documentation is what will help you the most. So yeah, it is important that you are familiar with the documentation. All right. So the first thing is, obviously I need to install the composer package. As you can see, it is 2.x dev. Let me first do that, and then I'll tell you the rest of the things. So basically right now it's in beta or alpha, whatever it is. It's not production ready. However, both Taylor and Jonathan has mentioned that it's quite stable in that sense, and it's almost there. So from a learning perspective, I don't think there's too much of a problem. We can start with it. Whether to include it in your production app or not, we will look at that later. Okay. So now this is installed. What I will then do is, next thing, we need a root template. What happens is Inertia will render the view components on the browser. It will remove certain parts of the markup and generate the new one. So it needs to have a template. So in here, what I will do is go into resources, views, welcome.blade.php, and I will save this. Additionally, I will rename this to app.blade.php instead of welcome.blade.php. In here, you can see I'm requesting for resources/js/app.js through Vite. Then I have a directive. This is from the Inertia package, Inertia head. This takes care of passing certain JavaScripts in the form of props and stuff. And this directive is going to spit out a div with an ID of app. Okay. Now, what's the next step? We need to add a middleware. Why don't we go ahead and do that? This middleware does a couple of things. Okay, you can see, I'll go through this. Yeah. So here you can mention the root template. We have app.blade.php, so this is in sync. Now versions. If you see in my application, let's say this is the CSS file. Now I made certain changes. The browser is detecting that this is the file name. This file is available in my cache, so it doesn't download it from the server. Which means if I keep my CSS file name the same and add a couple of more styles to it, or if I change my JavaScript file, keeping the name same, there are pretty good chances that the client will not see those changes because the browser is still loading the old JavaScript file. So the versioning, the naming is important, and Inertia does that automatically for you. Then the next thing is the share. This is where if you have some data which you want to be available across all pages of your Inertia application, you can add it here, and Inertia will ensure that those data points are available to all components in some ways. Now we have the middleware, we need to add that. So we go into Bootstrap, app.php, and I'll do middleware web. In here I have appends. No, it was, let me look at the documentation. Yeah, append. Okay. Append, I pass an array, and in that I'll have handle inertia requests class. Let me confirm the import is working. Yeah. Okay. So this is done. And till now, I won't be able to send a response. Just I'll show you. See, it says view welcome not found. Obviously, because we have renamed the view. What if I do app? Because we renamed it to app, right? It goes inside, but it is not able to find certain things. Okay. What if I do inertia app? Now app is not there, but it will fail. And okay, my Vite is running. That is a problem. JS otherwise, so what you will typically see as an error is that the manifest.json is not available, which basically means that I need to now look at the client side installation. So we are using Vue, so we'll need this. I'll do an install, although I already have those packages. Didn't work, is it? No, it's doing its thing. Okay, and yes, now I can do npm run dev. I'll keep that running, and I'll initialize the app. You can pretty much copy paste everything from here. Go into your resources, app.js, and before I do that, one small change I'll make is inside my editor config, I'll go ahead and do js view, so that these two files have spaces of 2 instead of 4. Okay, and paste everything here. This is all formatted. Now if you see, we are creating an Inertia app. Now again, I don't understand 100% what everything here is going on, but at a very high level, now we are resolving the pages, and I'm saying that the pages, whenever there's a request, I'm looking at a pages folder and then a view file, and this is eager loading. Now I don't have this folder, so what I will do is I'll create that, because you can see it's referencing /, which means app.js is here. So inside the JS, I should have a pages folder, and then let me create a home.view. Home.view is here, and then it is returning the page. This is the setup, creating the app, mounting the app on the elements. All these things are pretty standard. You don't need to worry about it with all these things. There's one more thing which we'll have to do. For some reason, I didn't find this documentation in the client-side thing. So what happens is, if you right now refresh, it's running, and inside web, this is app. This is not going to work. So what I will do is I'll say that my component is home.view. Now it should throw an error. Why it is not doing that? It is not doing it because it gives this strange kind of an issue. Okay. Now, what I was able to do was understand that Vite is not able to understand this particular problem. And so we imported a Vite plugin called view from okay, I need to install that. So npm I Vite.js plugin -view. Now that it is installed, I should get that hint. Okay. And then if I just do view, okay, this is something I'm just trying right now. Will this work? Let me see. Okay, it does say that it is trying to find a home.view, which means this is working. And the limitation is that my view file doesn't have anything. So div and then p. Now if I save and I refresh, can you see this thing is coming from the view file, which is great. Now basically our application is able to return a response which is an inertia component. The inertia component respects the root template which we created as app.blade.php. Okay, so if I have something like, right, so I can see this change, and this is the view which is being rendered coming from our .view file, and this is where inertia is doing its magic. One additional thing, we just changed this view to inertia. We can also send any information like we typically do inside a blade file. Obviously it will not show up over here, but if I do inspect element, you can see there is props as name, Amitav Roy, apart from the rest of the data which is coming. So yeah, that's how we install Inertia.js inside a typical Laravel application. We have used Vue.js for this particular thing, and I'm pretty excited in building the application. If you like this video, then do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.